Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another video. So I've been so excited for the Bad Batch Season 2, and today I want to share a theory with you. The fate of Jedi Master Luminara Unduli is one of the darkest in all of Star Wars. In Rebels Season 1, Kanan, Barriss and Ezra Bridger hear rumours of a Jedi Master who's still alive, years after the events of Order 66. There were reports at the time that Luminara Unduli survived and that she was imprisoned in a cell on the spire of Stygian Prime. This of course turned out to be a trap, and the Empire took advantage of the rumours surrounding her survival. In actuality, she'd been dead for a long time, and her remains were contained within a sarcophagus. The Inquisitors eagerly waited to see if any Jedi or rebels would attempt to rescue her. And in a sense, the Empire's plan was always a bit too convenient. They just so happened to have Luminara's body in storage. Of course, in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series episode 4, we finally get an explanation for this apparent plot contrivance. Emperor Palpatine had the bodies of fallen Jedi taken to a specially constructed tomb on the lower levels of Fortress Inquisitorius on the moon of Nur, where the bodies were kept as trophies to the victory of the Sith and of course the Inquisitors. But as I put forward in a different video, they might also have been useful DNA for Palpatine's contingency. But going back to Luminara, her story is an interesting but unfinished one. There are still so many gaps in her story, even though we know what happens to her in the end, and I believe the Bad Batch Season 2 is going to fill those gaps. So let's go through the story. After Order 66, Luminara Unduli managed to evade Imperial squads for some time before eventually being captured and executed. This is believed to have been 6 months to a year following Order 66, so she did survive for quite some time. Considering the Bad Batch Season 2 takes place only months after Order 66, at least according to Jennifer Corbett, there is every reason to believe that Luminara is still alive during this second season. Not only that, but we actually have clues to her making an appearance. In the trailer we see Kashyyyk alongside surviving Wookiee Padawan Gungi, and briefly at the end we even get a cameo from Tarful. Now this is so important because Unduli was stationed on Kashyyyk, and she presumably stayed there after Order 66 before she was taken into custody. Now Dave Filoni has always expressed interest in completing character story arcs, and while we know what happens to Master Unduli in the end, the time between Order 66 and her capture has never been shown on screen, and with the Bad Batch coming across survivors of the Purge, in addition to visiting the Wookiee homeworld, this would be the perfect time to show us her final interactions. And not to mention, this could also tie into other projects, because it's well documented in canon that Luminara at this point was grieving because she felt as though she failed as a Jedi Master when Barriss Offee turned to the dark side. And with Filoni's desire to complete Barriss' story, this could pin to the Bad Batch Season 2 as well. Although I will say Barriss' story is better suited for the Ahsoka show later in the timeline, and if you remember, there was a rumour from the Illuminati stating they were casting for Barriss in Star Wars Ahsoka, so let's see what happens. But what do you guys think? Do you think we could see Luminara in Season 2? And will they show us what happened between Order 66 and her eventual capture? Let me know in the comments down below, guys. The Bad Batch Season 2 is really going to expand a lot of our understanding of Order 66. Even though it was a long time ago, just the fact that Gungi is going to appear, and maybe some other survivors too, tells us there's a lot more to the aftermath than we think. If you enjoyed this video, my dear friends, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. May the Force be with you always. I'm Star Wars Meg. Have a good one.